Klamath County Search and Rescue is one of the finer rescue units in the state of Oregon and on the West Coast. I've had first-hand experience as working with the search and rescue units, searching for missing mushroom hunters, lost hunters, people getting lost on Mount McLaughlin. And I'm really proud of the ability that they have as a volunteer unit. There's a huge volunteer portion of the sheriff's office, and there is one liaison person that's a paid sheriff's office person that oversees and makes sure that everything is coordinated properly. But they do have a lot of really good gear. They've got a lot of vehicles that sit warehoused. They've got a lot of brand new trucks warehoused. They've got a lot of great clothing and equipment that I know firsthand knowledge of because I've supplied most of this through my business, and I've seen where the funding comes from that. And that, on the most part, comes from Title III federal funding, which is reimbursed to the sheriff's office through federal funding, specifically allocated through Homeland Security grants. So what that does is that provides us with a top-notch search and rescue unit with all the best equipment, but the problem is it creates a perception of an imbalance of wealth. It shows that we've got all this great equipment. There's been a perception over the past few years of the focus of our search and rescue units overtaking the focus of patrol and corrections, and most of that has been a misrepresentation of the true meaning of the sheriff's office. And what I mean by that is the funding has mostly come from the outside as a supplement to us to supply all this equipment, but it hasn't been specified by the current administration more than enough times that really didn't come out of the sheriff's budget or the general funds from the county. It's come from welfare sources, to put it bluntly. Those allocated items, unfortunately, because they're federally mandated under grant sources, can't be used for anything other than what they're being used for search and rescue. If we were to do that, we would null and void the grant, and the federal agencies or the state could come in and take that property away, and then we'd lose what little resources we have there. So to clarify, the search and rescue unit, it's a fantastic agency. It's mandated by state law. It's one of the 3 mandated things that the Sheriff's Department does have to provide: corrections, civil bureau, and search and rescue. It doesn't mandate patrol, but that's a whole nother issue that we're working on, and I'll explain. But for search and rescue, it is something that we have to keep up, but it really has to be focused on a volunteer level and has to be minimized. And it is a small line item on the sheriff's budget, and I will present that to show you how little of a money pull it is from the sheriff's office. But on the other hand, I do have knowledge that the funding for that can be supplemented and possibly completely paid for by the enforcement of negligent searches. There are many times under Oregon law, some of those searches can be compensated for by the lost hiker or the lost hunter as long as they are negligent in their duties. If they've done something extremely foolish to put themselves at risk, then they should be covering the bill. I'm a mountaineer, I'm a hiker, I'm a hunter. I take responsibility for my actions. If I have a foolish action, I take care of it. I either self-rescue if I can't do that and I call for help. I expect to pay the bill for my foolishness. And I think more people need to do that so we can cut down on those actions. And I think that would offset, and we are crunching those numbers to see if it would offset that funding problem there. And that could help the budget in a minute way, but it should help the budget out dramatically.